Now? Fantastic. Okay, so good evening once again, everyone. Thank you for joining another um Kaizen review session. Today we have a first time reviewer. Um, she's she's someone I know too well, and um, I we've had several conversations around reviewing, so I'm sure that no doubt that she should have a fantastic session. Chine is here. But before Chine goes, previously, I believe last week we had Kazim on this particular review as a moderator and Obinna, where they did justice to the part 3, chapter 14, how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. I remember in that session, Obinna gave us what was something close to a master class on a very detailed review of this session. And before that, we had Moradeyo and Romla also discussed chapter 13, which is how to stop procrastination by using the 2 minutes rule. Like you all know, we are we have gone quite deep in on Atomic Habits book by James Clear. And if if nobody has learned anything so far, me for one, have changed a large percentage of my life because of this book. And I know most of the times I've not been um, up to date, but even attending this session has helped me to learn and to adjust myself accordingly. And so, without further discourse, we would have Chinenye Okoye. Chinenye, like I said before, is a first-time reviewer. It's taking quite a conversation to have her here. But I'm really glad that she's here. Chinenye will be discussing the part 4 of this book. And it starts with the chapter 15. Part 4 is relatively discussing about make it satisfying. And she'll be taking us through the cardinal rule of behavioral change. Chine, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. We appreciate it. And we hope, like we have been on this show, that we have learned a lot and that you would learn a lot as well with this experience. And subsequently, you would feature more. So thank you again and welcome to this review session. Over to you, Chine. Go for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moses. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Chine, as Moses has rightly introduced. I am currently a 500 level law student at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Anambra State, and I would be reviewing chapter 15. So the book begins with the chapter begins with Stephen Luby, who was a public health worker at Nebraska, going to Pakistan, Karachi to be specific. Karachi was a very populated, or was one of the populated cities in the world, which housed over 9 million people. And it had a problem. It was very, very unsanitary, which led to the widespread of illness. And this was the main reason Stephen Luby and his team members came to Pakistan. They discovered that simply washing your hands in a place like Karachi could make a huge difference. In their study, they also discovered that people actually knew how to wash their hands, but they did it in a very, very unsanitary manner. Just imagine somebody running their hands through water, or washing one hand and leaving the other, or even not washing at all. Before you eat, before you cook, you leave your house, come back, and you don't wash your hands. Imagine what that type of habits would result to. Widespread of diseases. They suffered diseases like pneumonia, cholera, diarrhea, you name it, it was there. This led to Stephen and his team members bringing in Safeguard soap. I'm sure many of us remember Safeguard. They introduced the soap, and then the participants in his experiments expressed that they enjoyed the feeling of the soap and the smell of the soap, and this made the experience an enjoyable one for them. In Stephen's words, it is easier for people to adopt a product that provides strong positive sensory signals. The people of Karachi enjoyed the feeling of the soap on their hands, and there was a rapid change in the situation at Karachi. The health of children increased and improved drastically. The diseases stopped. It didn't really stop, but like it got better. The percentage of people that got sick reduced by a large number. After 6 years, Luby went back to Pakistan, and he discovered that they had maintained the washing habits over the years. Now, this is a perfect example of the fourth and final law make it satisfying. As human beings, we enjoy and maintain practices that we find satisfying. For example, you have or a person has acne prone skin and then goes to his or her dermatologist, and the dermatologist gives a list of products that the person should use. Over the time, the person's skin starts improving, blackheads fade, pimples dry out. They're getting to that glass skin effect. Obviously, as somebody that is sane, you would continue using it. You would continue using those products that are giving you that glass skin. That's perfect skin that you've always wanted. You would continue using it. The same goes for um a perfume. You're a perfume lover, and then you start using that particular perfume that gives you so much compliments. Maybe you were using one Aboki perfume before, and then you start using a product from like Latafo or Paris Corner, and then people are complimenting you day in, day out. You're leaving the office, you're coming to the office, and then the person beside you is saying, "Oh my God, you smell so good." You would want to continue using that perfume so that you would keep getting compliments from people. If an experience is not enjoyable, would definitely not repeat it. For example, you're surrounded by bad friends, people that drain you physically, mentally, emotionally. You would want to leave that friendship so that you would move forward. You see yourself being stagnant. You're not getting it right. You're not living the way you envision yourself to live. You have to leave that friendship so that you would move past that stage and just keep moving and keep elevating. As human beings, we live in a delayed return environment. You want to start gymming, you know that your aim is to get that 6 packs, the round thighs, the flat tummy, the body that everybody will be like, "Oh my God, I love your shape. I love how your body looks." You're not going to get that body in 1 week or in one month. You have to keep gymming. You have to keep going to the gym. You have to be consistent. Consistency is the key word here. You have to keep doing that particular thing so that the end result would be one that when you look back and you see your progress, you know that at the end of the day, I got what I wanted. Our brains tend to see the consequences of bad habits as delayed, while the rewards immediate. For example, smokers. You cannot tell a smoker now that stop smoking. At the end of the day, you will have lung cancer, or stop one. You will have one problem at the end of the day. What they see is at that moment, that moment that they are smoking, they are seeing themselves get high, relieving stress, but they are not seeing the after effects. Let's just say some years later, where the health problems kick in, difficulty in breathing, cancer, and the rest. Same as drugs. Yes. So with bad habits, there's immediate satisfaction, but in the long run, the ultimate outcome is bad, like I said earlier. The reverse is the case for good habits. Initially, it is undesirable and not fun to do. But at the end of the day, the result becomes beautiful and fascinating. I'll give myself as an example. There was a time where I wasn't really serious with school. I used to like skip classes. If I see that a class is like, maybe the lecturer is not a strict one, I'll be like, let me just sleep it out. It's not going to really affect me. But then I told myself at the beginning of my 300 level that I was going to start going to school. It was going to be stressful, especially going to school under the hot sun. In the east here, the sun is very, very, very horrible. Let me know, like it's very, very bad. So now imagine leaving your house and then you're walking under the sun, going for classes when you know that it's just one class or a 15. Sometimes I have 15-minute classes, sorry. And I would just tell myself that even though like these classes are short, but they are meaningful. So the habit that I started going to school every day. I started listening in class. I stopped sitting at the back with people that would distract me. I started sitting at the third row with if I say that, oh, I want to leave the class, I'm seeing the person beside me writing notes. If I look to my left, somebody is writing notes and listening. If I look to my right, the same thing. In front of me, the lecturer is teaching. I don't have a choice but to stay in class and actually listen. And because of that decision that I made, my grades started getting better. My grades were good before, but they became better. And I can proudly say that from my 300 level to my final year now, my results has kept, like, it has gotten better over the years. And when I first started, I felt like this thing is stressing me. I cannot keep up and stuff like that. But then now that I'm looking back at it, I'm so glad that I made that decision. Yeah. And then I'll give my sister as an example too. She always wanted to become a data analyst. She would go for different trainings, even the ones that did not concern her, she would go for them. They were stressful because I always used to see her and I'll see her like stressing out and attending these trainings and complaining that she's tired. But then she kept on going. Now she's at a job because of one of those trainings. They were stressful, but then at the long run, she got a job through one of those trainings. That's how it feels. Always feel successful, even in the smallest ways. Celebrate those small winnings. If you see that you are losing weight and okay, let me give myself as an example again. I used to have a very big stomach. And people nowadays were very, very particular about our size and our stomach. And then I used to tell myself that if I don't eat this shawarma, for example, or ice cream, or one of those junks that we eat, I don't eat it for like a month. I see myself not eating it for a month. I would I would get myself something as motivation. It's not, to some people it's like, yeah, why are you doing that? Like, it's not necessary. But to me, I know the sacrifice that I went through or I did for me to get to that stage or for me to get to that point. Always celebrate your small winnings. You land a successful job, or let me not even say successful. Maybe you're a content creator and you land a gig with a small business. Celebrate it, because of that small business, you're going to get a celebrating that small business. That small, let's say, gratitude. Yes, gratitude to get a bigger brand deal. Yeah, if you get a brand deal with a Nigerian company, thank God. Celebrate that small um brand deal. Tomorrow you can see yourself getting deals with.
Hello,
Okay,
Chinonye.
so is it just me? Okay, I realize it's not just me. I think Chine is breaking up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Chinenye.
Okay. I guess she's breaking up, probably her network. Yeah. So I think let me just take it from here till she comes back.
Behavior.
Right. So from okay, she's back. Hi, Chine, can you hear us? Okay,
I'm so sorry. My network got disconnected.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. So we last
So
heard you where you said we should always celebrate some of the efforts we make,
yeah.
the small wins and the small progresses that we make. So yeah, that's where we last heard you from. So you can continue from there. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So substitute the bad habits that you have for something good. You're trying to let go of overspending. Anything you see, you buy. Substitute it by saving. Let's say label that saving group sorry. Label it saving towards getting something useful in your life. Just start saving instead of overspending. The money that you're going to use to buy that particular thing, put it into your colo or your piggy bank or your cowrie wise, whatever you're using to save. Put it there and know that at the end of the day, you're going to get back the money and use it to do something better than that immediate thing, that thing that you want, that you were craving for. Save for something bigger. Save for a trip to Zanzibar or to South Africa or to Ghana. Just save for something big or small. Yeah. Then doing this can also give you better energy and more purpose. You will feel better when you see that you're letting go of these bad habits that you have or you keep to yourself. You see that you get lighter, you get the energy around you is better. You see yourself doing things that you didn't want to do before, but you, because of you letting go of that bad habit, it becomes better. Yes. So in conclusion, always remember that if you make it obvious, you make it attractive, you make it easy, and you make it satisfying. All these things are the things I just listed now are the four laws of are the four laws. Yeah. So always like I said, celebrate the small things and always tell yourself that everything would be good and yeah, feel successful, have better energies, and yeah, it's going to be chill. Yeah, Moses, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, so thank you so much, Chine. That was a very, how would I say it now, example filled, very personal review, right? And to be fair, I want to say thank you specially because I know that some of these conversations that you're having, they're not natural or they're not second nature. And yet you've put yourself out there to use yourself as somewhat like a point of contact or a point of revelation to others. And I think where I would like to just chip in a thing or two before I open the floor altogether to others is just to say that most of the time, the gratification or the reward or the pleasure for getting our habits or getting to the behavior that we want is not usually instant, right? And Chinenye has rightly pointed that out even in her review. But when you try to give yourself like a little round of applause for that thing that you are working toward. It's like a marathon. You are running a marathon, but for every sprint, for every step, you say, okay, Moses, you've done well. Take this or keep this or do this. And you take that as your own little count, just something small to praise yourself, to give yourself a boost, to give yourself a thumbs up. That small thing, eventually, you build up the habit such that you will not even be doing it for that small thing. It will become second nature. And yet you are still giving yourself that encouragement. So we need to master the habit of personal and self-encouragement for a long-term journey that we are working towards, especially in relationship to behavioral change, right? Because habits are not something that are formed in a day. And most of the time, the good habits are really tedious. They are not some things that you derive pleasure from it. You deprive yourself of a lot. And it's not usually second nature. And the inverse is the case because bad habits give you instant gratification. So there's even the temptation to do those bad things because you get the immediate pleasure, the immediate reward, and the immediate satisfaction from it. So because of that, you need to now create or customize. Let me put it like that. You need to create or customize your own form of instant gratification, your own form of personal encouragement. And that's what I think that I will take away from this review today, from this chapter. What is your own form of personal encouragement towards that your long-term goal or your long-term satisfaction? So let me use Chinenye's strategy for today. For example, like I had a lot of examples. For example, if you're working towards, let's say, for instance, now achieving an investment goal, right? For every 10 naira or 50 naira or 1,000 naira that you use to put into your, for instance, say Stanbic IBTC mutual fund, you are depriving yourself a certain burger or dollar or refreshment. For that particular thing, you praise yourself too. Maybe you give yourself a point, or because of that, you do something that you truly like to do that helps you to get that encouragement that you are doing well. So, and before you know it, you're no longer doing it because of that little encouragement. It's now become second nature to say, I have to actually put something because you've done it once, twice, three times. Before you know it starts building up as second nature to you. And then you don't even no longer need that little encouragement that you used to start off in the first place. So that's just one thing I think we should all try to create as a customized personal encouragement plan for myself towards a particular behavior that I want to correct. So at this point, I think I'll just let other people also contribute. If you unmute your mic, Chini has done an amazing job for us on this review, and I must say thank you to her. For the first time, she absolutely killed it, honestly. Thank you. So anyone as well want to just add a thing or two? We have like a minute on the clock. So the floor is open.
Moses, can I add?
Yes, please, Kazim, go ahead. Thank you.
All right. So I think for me, is to thank Chineye first, and also to add that sometimes my team members or my colleagues, when we work together, sometimes I will just tell them, honestly, we are trying. Honestly, we are trying. I know Moses is familiar with that statement. Honestly, we are trying. And why do I say that most of the time? Is that when you truly look at the efforts that people put into some things and seeing the less efforts that others put into what they do, the only way I encourage myself, even if I'm having hectic day or negative feedback or whatever, is to tell myself and my team members that honestly, we are really trying. And I would sometimes show them why I think we are trying, so that they also feel that sense of appreciation to say, oh, this is what I've done. So generally, if you don't find a way to celebrate our little wins, we will struggle to sustain the energy. And this also applies to us as parents. It is not only when our kids fail or they are not doing well that we complain. We should also encourage them when they get 6/10 You tried, oh, very one, very good. But why did you give the teacher 4? Sometimes when I tell my they say, daddy. So I still use that as a means of motivating to acknowledge whatever they have gotten as the score. So let us imbibe this to encourage ourselves. Ourselves in towards the positive habit and killing the negative habit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kazim. That was a very, very, and I can I can attest to that. I hear honestly that trying, in fact, at least every day or every other day in the office, and it really helps. It really helps to show that at least your efforts are visible, they are being seen, and they are being acknowledged, and it sort of gives you the push to say, okay, I can keep going despite all of the challenges I'm facing. So on this note, I think we are just 1 minute past our time. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much. It was really a good one to have you on the review session.
Thank you
We
so
really
much.
appreciate. Thank you for honoring this, and hopefully we can have you several more times, probably in this book or in the next book. I mean, we want to make it a very, frequent thing for us, for you to be here to review with us. So everyone,
Sure.
join us. Engage on all our platforms, engage our posts on socials, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, share, comment, like, and invite people as well to come and review with us, to come and also contribute, to come and learn, and to come and grow and change their behavior for the better. Thank you so much. And it was really a pleasure moderating today's session. I'll see you guys again next week for another fantastic episode. Ciao. Bye-bye.